how would you like to see the city council change?
I think one of the things that I would like to see change is more accountability on the council members' part. I got a chance to work for the city council for years and had a really good chance to see how the mechanics of city council works, this city council works. And I was always very surprised when I would go to a committee hearing and see council members come in and sit down until they were checked in and leave maybe about 5 minutes later. It just did not seem to be right to me. I think New Yorkers deserve accountability, and they deserve, when they pay taxes, they should be having a city council member that sits there, listens to the testimony, and votes on the facts. And it's very sad that you have people that are going there, checking in just for the attendance, and then moving on to another fundraiser or moving on to another meeting. Council members should be required to at least sit in a meeting for 30 minutes, I believe, because I think it's important for them to listen to the testimony that's provided and make intelligent decisions on the legislation that's in front of them. And I think that's going to be one of the important things that I'm going to ask, or that I'm going to try to really champion when I get to the city council.
All right. In what ways does your agenda differ from that of the incumbent Helen Sears?
Well, I have one word for that: independence. I believe that I'm going to be independent. I am an independent person. I'm an independent candidate. I'm running under the Democratic line. But I feel that the current crop of candidates have no independence in them at all. And I think it's important to really step away from a lot of the political establishment that has been present, especially in Northwest Queens, and to really represent an independent voice that hasn't been heard, especially in these areas for a while. I feel that it's important to, when you run and when you serve as an elected official, you really want to be somebody that's going to reach across lines. You're going to want to be somebody that reach across ethnic lines and racial lines and generational lines to really, really talk about the issues that the working families in these areas aspire to. That's exactly what I'm going to try to do.
What's your stand on the recent extension of term limits that the city council gave itself?
Well, I was against the extension of the term limits. I felt that that was a very self-serving piece of legislation. It was a sad day in New York when they passed that law. Twice voters decided that 2 4-year terms was plenty for one legislator, and I was very saddened to see that piece of legislation go through, especially in the manner that it did. In fact, I was very proud to be a part of a lawsuit as a plaintiff to sue the mayor and the speaker and the city council, because I felt that it really not only was a bad piece of, it was a bad way to vote, but it was not the right thing. It was not indicative of what New Yorkers wanted to see. And I think any one of the politicians, any one of the legislators that voted for that and campaigned with it and is now going to be running again for re-election really deserves a challenge. They really deserve somebody to go out there and say, this was the wrong way to vote, and we're going to challenge you on that. None of these elected officials should be allowed to just waltz right into another term without someone really questioning them and really making sure that they're going to answer for the way that they voted for that. I was completely against it, and I think a lot of New Yorkers agree with me on that.
What do you feel is the biggest problem facing your council district right now?
Well, the neighborhoods that I'm seeking to represent are fantastic neighborhoods, but there are a lot of things that I believe need to be improved. Jackson Heights, Elmhurst, and Corona is one of the most diverse areas in New York City and probably throughout the country. You've got a number of different ethnic groups that are living there and working there. And one of the problems that I think needs to really be resolved is an issue of overcrowding. You've got a number of not only new Americans that are living there, but also other people that are moving to Queens because it's affordable. And with that are a lot of problems. You have problems with traffic congestion, you have problems with overcrowding in schools, you have problems with overcrowding on the subways. So I think one of the things that I would really seek to try to improve is really the overcrowding issue, really to working to making sure that sanitation is being picked up, that the pickups are going to be continued and improved, and also to making sure that people can get to work on time in a safe and reliable fashion, and that kids will have a quality education, and that classrooms will be reduced as much as you can, the size of the classrooms, because I think that's important.